Hello and welcome. This tutorial will cover the Terminology tab in Trados Enterprise and Trados Live, how to create a term base, basic management such as imports and exports, and also examples on how this can be used in Online Editor. Term bases are part of the linguistic resources you can use to leverage previously localized content. You can find the Term Bases section under the Resources tab in the Terminology dropdown or just at the end of the menus from the top. This dropdown or the Terminology tab is divided by term bases shared with me, and term-based templates. If you have an existing term base, it is displayed here in the term bases section. Like every other screen from the resources, you have filtering options. In this case, you can filter after languages or location to easily find the term base you need. A new term base is also created from the same screen. Let's create a term base now, so click New Term Base. Welcome to the new Term Base wizard. Here you can add all the information you need to build up the skeleton of your term base. Let's start by giving a name, a meaningful description if you so desire, and select the location for it. The location is quite important and determines the accessibility to this resource, so make sure that the project templates you are going to use are in the same location or above. For more information on inheritance, check out our documentations page. Next, we reach the term-based definition. The term-based definition specifies the number and type of fields that a term-based entry may contain and the entry structure it must conform to. This may sound overwhelming, so for this example, we will use the basic term-based template, which has a few general fields and the entry structure preset. To ensure compatibility with your multi-term resources, you can import an existing definition from the desktop or online version of multi-term. You will inherit the same fields and entry structure, but you can still add, edit, or delete fields. In case you decide on importing one, note that the term-based definition files are in XDT format. In the language fields, you add the languages to be included in your term base. You can either add languages with sub-languages or without using this tick box. The Fields and Structures section allows you to add, remove, or reorder the structure of your term base. You can see three levels here. Entry level contains system fields and any descriptive fields that apply to the entry as a whole. Language level contains index fields with terms as content and any descriptive fields that apply to all terms in a given language. And term level contains any descriptive fields that apply to a given term only. Since we are using a basic template for the entry structure, we have this already pre-populated, but you can still remove or add new fields. Okay, next, we have a summary from all the previous tabs. Save these changes and the term base is created. From this point, you can either add new entries manually by opening the term base or use the import function. Let's quickly show how to add a term manually. Open the term base and click New Entry. If you are familiar with multi-term desktop, I'm sure you already recognize this layout. If not, then just click Add Term on the language you desire and add your term. You can further customize this entry by adding your already configured fields. A quicker way to populate your term base with terms is to do an import. From the Term Bases tab, select your term base and click Import. You can import the following file types, and you can get these in valid format when exporting from any of our multi-term products. There are a few more options here, so let's run through them. First, we have strict import. You use this if you want your import languages to match exactly your term-based languages. For example, if you have your term base already set up with sub-languages like English US and your import file contains terms for both English and English US, this option ensures that only terms for matching languages will be imported, in this case, English US while ignoring English. If the system encounters duplicates during the import, we have a few ways to deal with these too. You can either ignore these entries, merge them, or overwrite. Once you are happy with your settings, click Import to populate your Termbase. Now you are all set to use this in a project. Of course, there is also an Export button. Here you can choose between 4 different formats to export your Termbase into. Export files are compatible with all our other Trados Live, Multiterm, and Trados Studio products. Since we have our new Termbase created, let's transition directly to Online Editor to test this out. Recognized terms in Online Editor are displayed with this red line over the source text. You can see more details of this in the Lookups panel. Your configured fields for your terms are also displayed here. Note that only populated fields are visible. To insert a term in your translation, just double-click it from this panel. If you wish to change a term on the go, you can click the eye icon to open the term editor. Here, you can add, edit, and delete terms just as you would when accessing this page from the Resources or Terminology tab. This concludes our basic overview of the Terminology tab. We learned how to create a new term base, import and export, and make use of the term base in Online Editor.